Righto, so we've got 5 licks coming up in just a second, taken from the solo for Sweet Child of Mine, which is obviously a huge classic, and if you don't know it, then seriously, you've had your head buried in sand. Yep, right. So these are taken from the last solo of the solo of that song. It's a bit of a mixture of stuff in there. Some of it's quite straightforward. I wouldn't say easy, but it's quite straightforward. There's a couple of things where you're bringing in the Harmonic Minor, which is kind of signature to some of the slash sound that you would hear. You just have to take it slow. That's all I can say about this. If you find some of these hard, slow it down, take it slow, keep it even, and then gradually build on your speed. If you can't get up to the speed, then try and simplify it by maybe taking a couple of notes out or just playing it at half speed. You can still use these licks in your playing. That's the nice thing about them. And that's it really. So if you do like it, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, hitting that bell button, giving it the good old thumbs up for the YouTube algorithms. Basically just saying thanks to Charlie and Johns for supplying me with strings for my guitars. Excellent. The thing will pop up there and you can find a link to their website in that description below. Let's get on with the lesson. The tab is on my website as well. Nice. Here we go. So this one simply starts with your bend on the 17th fret on the dusty end for some, but for others it's one that's used quite a lot. So 17th fret, first string, bend that full tone and then gradually let it down. So, and then you end up with the 15 to the 14. So hammering on 15, pulling off to the 14 and then 17 second string with vibrato. So alright, back to the 15 on the first string and then another 14, 15, 14 hammer-on pull-off, first string, 17 seconds, 16 seconds, back to the 17 and then 14 on the first. So those sort of 3 bars would be okay, something along the lines of that. Then this next bar, some people think, this is what I've seen, is you bend it up like that and like that, but you don't, you pre-bend it. So you bend in the note before you hear it, or bend in the string before you hear the note. And that first one is 15th fret, second string. So you end up with that kind of swoop down without the swoop up. So pitch your bend in your mind or feel it, pick the string, let it down and then go to the 12 on that same string, and then you do the same thing with the 14th fret third string, going to the 12th fret on that same string with 11 hammer-on and then 2 strikes of that 14 on the third string. So it's like okay, and then we've got a run of 11, 12, 14 on the third string, 13 second, 12 on the second, so and then a pull off from 13 to 12, slide to 10 with a bend on the 13th fret, nice full tone bend, bringing that back down to the 13 without hearing it come back down. So you got, and then, which is going to be 12th fret semitone bend to the 14 on the third string, and then a full tone bend 15 on that first string. Okay, now you can drop that back down if you want to and then slide it out, but if you want to, you just leave it high. That's lick number 1. Excellent. I'll leave you with lick number 2 coming up after I've played it slowly-ish. So it goes 3, 4 and 2, 3, 4. Something along the lines of that. Let's move to lick number 2. This lick uses the / harmonic minor thing that comes in, so where we're bringing in the E flat into the E minor scale. So he adds that note into the run of just there. And it's actually really nice for that change of movement going from one section of the solo to the next, so it's a really wonderful piece to try and play. Anyway, we start this off. I'm not using a wire for these demonstrations just because I don't want to muddy up the sound, and if you haven't got a wire you can hear it without. If you have got a wire, then try and put it in. But either way, here we go. We've got 7 semitone bend up and let back down, so back to the 9 on the 3rd string, to the 7, back to the 7 on the 2nd string is what I was meant to say. Then we have an 8th note bend, so you got 10th fret 2nd string, then 8 pull off to 7 on that 1st string. Now this is where it all starts to get a little bit complicated. So first off, then we have 11 pull off to 7. Okay, so then the run starts. This is where you want to get your patterns right, so work on that first bit, get that done, get it memorized. Then we've got quite a simple run up of 8, 11, 12, slide up to 14. Then you've got 11, 12, 14, slide up to 15. So then the next part is going to be 12, 14, 15, back to the 14, 12, 15 on the 2nd string, then it's 14 pull off to 11 on the 1st string, and then you've got this faster 6-tuplet part of 12 and 14 pull off, 15 2nd, 12 on the 1st, and then 15 full tone bend on the 2nd string to finish with. So that run once you start using the run itself, it actually flows really, really well. I used to overthink this lick so much and it just came out as a massive jumble, but now I've been thinking about it in the right way, looking at the patterns within the actual solo itself. It seems to work quite nicely, but I'll play it slower for you now. So it goes something along the lines of do it again, so there you have it. This one's fairly simple, so a lot easier than lick number 2, but that doesn't matter what order they're in, it's just how you tackle them. So you've got 15th fret, 3 full tone bends, so 1, 2, 3, then it's a 16th note kind of bend up, let down, pull off to the 12, and then to the 14, so like that. Great licks to put into playing just generally. So you end up with the first bar being, sorry, do that again. Okay, then you do a similar thing on the second bar, but this time the second 15th fret bend is 2 beats long, so you can apply vibrato to that one if you want to. So those 2 bars. Then we move to the 17th fret, full tone bend again, and it's a similar rhythm to the second bar, apart from the last beat, where you have 17th fret full tone bend on beat 1 and 2, and then but a third beat is obviously tying over on the second beat, so you're using that as the half note. And then the 4th beat, you're trying to hook 2 strings at once with that bend in full play. So it's supposed to be a horrible sound, so just try and get something that sounds a bit gritty with that as much as you can. If it sounds clean, great. If it sounds a bit gritty, then perfect. Then the next bar, you've got your full tone bend on the 17 again, to the 15 on the first string, back to the 17, and then the last beat is leading you into that last bar. So that's bending up. I would say pull it off to the 15, and then the 15 quick hammer on to the 17. I'll do it slow for you now. Here we go. There you go. Right, lick number 4 coming up. Start this lick with a double strike on the 12th fret 3rd string, so, and then pull off 14 to 12 4th string. Then you kind of invert that slightly, but you do a similar thing, this time starting on the 14th fret on the 3rd string, double strike of that, and then back to the 14, so that's 14 14, pull off to 12 and then back to the 14. So then we've got double 12 on the 2nd string, pull off 14 12 3rd string, then it's double 15 on the 2nd string, pull off to the 12 and then 14 on that 3rd. So that bar should sound, sorry, going to that note, not the 12, not the 15, sorry. Anyway, and then the next bar, you've got 12 12 15, sorry, it's on the 1st string, 12 12, 15 pull off to the 12 on the 2nd string, and then it's a 15 double strike on the 1st string to a 12 pull off. So then we have a 2 staccato notes, so that's going to be 15 and 14, basically like that on that 1st string. This bit's quite tricky, to go across from the 15 on the 2nd string to 12 on the 1st string, hammer on to 15, pull up off to the 12 again, and then back to the 15, strike it once and then bend it, so you strike it again to bend. So that's like, so it's not overly tricky in itself, but when you're adding it into the sequence it can be quite a bit of a finger twister, so just, you know, do what you can with it. But I'll play this one slow, so it goes like this. Let's get on with lick number 5 and the final lick. Here it is. This lick seems to be one of those ones where a lot of people want to be able to play it but don't take the time to slow it down and work through the mechanics of it. It is quick and it takes a lot of effort to get this one working, but if you put the effort into it, you're not going to go far wrong. You just got to keep it slow, have a bit of patience, and it'll go wonderfully. So you start with the 15 on that 2nd string, full tone bend. So the first beat is just all 16th notes. So is basically that. So you bend up the 15, go to the 12 on the 1st, 15 pull off to 12 on that 2nd. So then we have the trickier part where we're using an 8th note for the 14th fret bend, and then you've got a 6-tuplet of 3 notes, so basically 12, 15, 12 pull off on that 2nd string. So the 14th fret 3rd string, 12 on the 1st, 15 pull off to 12 on that 2nd. If I play those 2 beats, you have, okay, the next stage is doing that 15th fret bend on the 2nd string, and then 12 on the first, 15 pull off to 12 second, and that's basically that lick. So you end up with, and then you repeat it. Until you can get it at a speed, and if you add the wah into that as well, you end up with. However it should sound, but you can kind of get an idea of when you bring a wah in, it just makes it a little bit more authentic. But just work at that one slow and see how you get on. At the end of the day, it's actually quite straightforward, but it's the speed of it which is going to throw you out. Nice one. Back to me. There we go, we're at the end. So that was 5 licks taken from that epic solo. If you enjoyed it and you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button for all the future notifications, and give it a good old thumbs up to make those YouTube algorithms like this video. Then I can keep creating more for you. If you're interested in lessons that you won't find here and jamming tracks that you won't find here and other stuff that pops up, so members only stuff, go to patreon.com/Dan's page, all linked below, and also the tab is free on my website. Thanks very much to Charlie and Johns for the strings. They are awesome handmade, USA handmade strings, which I use on all my guitars now, so that is absolutely amazing. They sound great and they last a long time as well, so awesome. There we go, let's see what happens next week, but I bid you all farewell and I'll bid you a happy weekend. There we go. Nice one. See you later.